We are live.
We are live.
We are live.
We are live. This is pretty wild, huh?
And now Instagram is live.
Hi, Instagram.
Hello, Instagram. Let's see anyone that is joining us. We'll see on the top left-hand side of the screen.
Great.
It will load up with viewers there.
Perfect. So who do we have? We've got Instagram. We've got Facebook.
Yes, we got Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Wow.
We do have one viewer with us.
Hi, one viewer. Hey.
And Instagram is going. Instagram is going. Nice. It's a little bit of a delay on that video. I froze for a second, didn't I?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
I think you're okay.
Alrighty. So Ben. Okay. Ben sees us on Insta. He says we're good.
Perfect. Thanks, Ben.
Hopefully we get some people joining us. Izzy, come on live. Go on social media. OACYC, I'm live. Want to get some people to come.
That's all right. They'll get here. Let's like warm up the internet for them.
All right. Well, look, you know what? Something I did, and I'll talk about this again.
Yeah.
My staff, Izzy, she wrote a letter for her 1 year to all the families, and I seen the copy of it, and it was like amazing. Like, she put me on this pedestal that, like, I've never been lifted that high in my life, and it was amazing. But the one thing that she did say that is, I'll always remember, because it's something I try to teach all the interns I have coming in, is how to think CYC.
So how do you?
We do so much action, but how do you think, and how do you get to that action piece? And I got thinking like a CYC from a risk management class. It wasn't even a CYC, it was event planning, right? And how I feel like I've done like thinking CYC is, we want to know the end game. We want to know where we want to get to. We know the result we want to get. And if you could work backwards in your planning and get to the start, and you can see, and over time, the more we do, the more we build our CYC utility belt that many people know I talk about, right? We could make that journey from the start to the finish line without complications, with less challenges, right? And it's thinking outside the box, thinking on in the moment, right? Being present, being available, right? Hearing and listening, right? That's how you think as a CYC.
Being available is a really, if you think about it, being available is rare, especially now, right? So it's,
Yes.
Even in our friendships where, we make ourselves available for our people in those moments when they need us, or in those moments when we devote it to them. But think about when you go to your job and you just do your work, to really be available to the people that you're with, to the young people that you're with, that you're responsible to, something like it takes a layer of authenticity and it takes a layer of honesty, you know, and it takes a layer of humility to actually be available, right? And to want something further, like you said. But the only thing that I would add on what you said is that, you know, we often, as CYCs, we often come up with end goals. But I think what makes us a bit different than other clinical professions is that we're not attached to the outcome. Because for us, the work is in the process.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. For us, the muscle is the spontaneity.
Right, totally. And I think, okay, so let me kind of like fine tune a little bit of what I'm saying. Yes, we want to know our outcome, right? But it's the journey of getting there. Right? That we need to be all those things I said. It's the journey from the start and the journey getting there. It's planting those seeds. It's thinking along the way, how can we get there? The outcome could be 20 years from now. We're not going to, we might not specifically be that person for that outcome. We might not see it, right? But the journey along the way, and that's where the thinking CYC is.
I agree with you. I would also add that, you know, a child and youth care perspective also brings the opportunity for recovery within the journey, right?
Yes.
Because the journey isn't always smooth, right? It's never smooth. It's like never smooth.
It's never parallel, right? Like never.
But it's like part of the being with, part of the hanging in, part of the, you know, going with, is understanding when it's time to rest and when it's time to ease up and when it's time to completely step back and let autonomy, you know, take the rails, right?
Mm-hmm. Totally.
I get it.
It was such an amazing thing for her to say that, right? Like, and it's what I try to teach. I try to hand that down, right? And it's really that the utility belt thing, right? Like you need to fill that. You need to have stuff that you can pull out of it, like on the fly, and it's part of that journey that we always do for each person that we support. That's how we built that utility belt, right? And mine's not even. I maybe have 2 pockets full.
So what's it like? What's it like hearing from somebody who you work with that they really admire the way you approach your work? Like, what's that like for you right now?
It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
Right. Just like for me, like where I've come from, right? Like I was homeless. 16, homeless, living on the streets. I was in every shelter in Toronto. I was nothing. I never thought I'd be this, right? Like I always said I wanted to be a CYC, but that was more like because the child and youth workers I had crushes on, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to be like you, right? Like I think, and that's going back from group home when I was like 10, 11 years old, right? It was more like I want to be like you, right? No, conversation was created in my day over smoking cigarettes, like when we were young. So a lot of the idea of becoming a child and youth care worker at that time was really just the relationship building that I had, right? And I just always knew, and for some reason I went to event planning first, right? But like events, I use so much stuff I've learned in events, risk management, all of that, like every day, right? So I really don't regret it, right? But it's just like mind blowing how I went. But I gotta say, I probably wouldn't have met who I've met in the relationships I have now if I went into CYC sooner, right? And to be at a place where I was a mature student, I had such a lived experience that I'm diving into a career where I could teach, I can offer knowledge, I could be like textbook. Let's look at it like this a little. I know that might not happen. That's the outcome we want, but it's going to take like 30 more steps this way to do that, right? It's rewarding. I think after
It's something else, isn't it?
right,
Yeah.
really rewarding. Just I wake up and I'm like, wow, I'm really doing this, right?
And you know, the more you do it, the more that people, the more you do it, the more your community sees you as who you're becoming. You know, it's
yes.
like the more you do it, the easier it is for your community to pull for who you're becoming, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of it is because it's like a lot of people, what are you doing? What do you do?
Yeah.
Are you going to make money doing that? Like, you help people. What does that mean? Right? You're a social worker then, right? Like, it's just, no, I'm a child youth care practitioner, right? And it's the people that still laugh at the word practitioner, right? Because you're not a doctor, right?
Oh, it's a practice. That's the thing. It's the most, I think it's the purest term that could go along with child and youth care. It's practice. It's practice. It's practice. Yeah. Okay, let's introduce ourselves, Sean.
Right. Hey, I'm Sean. A proud board member of the OACYC, Humber alumni. I run a day program that supports young adults with disabilities called Got Your Back, GYB for short. I'm just on this amazing journey, learning and becoming the best CYCP I can be in these days, and I'm really happy to be here today and share some information, and hopefully we can get some people volunteering for us.
Yeah, that'd be neat. My name is Cora. I'm president of the OACYC. It's my greatest honor. I didn't think I'd ever enjoy something like this, like how I enjoy it. I really love it. I really love it. I really love it. It's wild. What else? I'm a Humber faculty. He's a Humber alum. I do a bunch of other stuff, but this by far is one of my favorite. This group of cats that I hang out with at the OACYC, they're fun, they're spunky, they're awesome. You guys are so great, so great. All of the directors are just so great. And we have to give a shout out to our office and our web. Hey, Heather. Hey, Aaron. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much for helping us. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. All right.
Scenes.
Yeah. So
we got 5 viewers.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, hello viewers. You guys want to name drop or just say what part of the field you're in the chat on whatever platform you're on? Say hi. Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. Do you want to talk a little bit about what volunteering at the OACYC is like, Sean?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Well, for me, it was I came on. Just over a year now.
Yeah,
I believe. I had no idea what I was getting into.
Yeah.
A big thing for me is I feel like I don't have the vocabulary to keep up. And then I tell myself what I do have is honestly enough, right? It will grow because I have amazing people around me mentoring and all that, right? But no, volunteering for the OACYC just as a board member alone, your creativity is used, your ideas are heard. You're part of forever growing group of amazing humans,
Yeah.
caring humans. And I mean that as like I'm part of OACYC, so I'm also a member, right? So like we're at 2,000 members now,
We are
right?
just under 2,000.
Just
Yeah.
under 2,000 members, which is like the largest we've been in, right? Like we jumped from like 200 members recently to like where we are now, right?
Yeah. Over the last 5-ish years, we've gone from about 700 to about 1,800.
Wow, right? And that's a lot on our members wanting to be part of something, right? But I think it's being part of this team where we get the information to our members. We fight for our members. We're fighting as much as we can to be regulated, right? We're on top of things. Things change, things happen. We're in the middle of strat plan right now, so there's a lot of new things coming out, right? But that's also, that being said, being able to be on a team where you volunteer and you're being heard, and your creativity, you could share your ideas, go a long way. So much stuff is going to be coming out soon for our members, for the people we support, right? OACYC is not going anywhere. I think we're probably at the top of our game, if that's a thing, right? Right now, right? We might feel like we're teetering a bit just because of changes, but like change happens, and there's blessings in the skies, and the future looks bright.
Transition is a muscle. Transition is just a muscle. Transition is just a muscle. If you can develop the ability to go through transition, if you think about it, that's what a lot of adaptable, successful, or people who define success in different ways, that's how they can do a lot of things.
Right, and it's one of the skills as a CYC we should be able to develop, right? Yeah. And keep on growing, right? Because we need to know how to adapt.
One of the things I want to just add to that you said was you feel like you don't have the language, right?
Right.
So I didn't have the language until like a little bit ago. I promise you that. I mean, the language around legislation versus regulation versus licensing.
Okay.
Like that stuff, it comes. The language around the different ministries, the language around the vocational learning outcomes, but also the language around, if you think about it, child and youth care, Canadian child and youth care especially, we have our own discourse. We have our own way of talking about what child and youth care practice is and how it comes out in our fingers and our gait and how it comes out in our approach. It's like we have our own way of talking about it. And the interesting thing about the board of directors is that we're a small group of people, if you think about it, compared to say like the 10 or 12,000 youth practitioners across the province. Like we're so small, we're like itty. But somehow being within the association, it allows us to get access to many different aspects of the field. So we can pull language from the hospital settings and the medical settings. We can pull language from the living care settings and the foster settings. We can pull language from the school settings. We can pull language from the French colleges. You know what I mean? Like it's like it comes and it comes at like it paces itself and it arrives into the organization. And that's how people who are in the organization just start to sort of gain more because it just comes. It comes.
Okay.
It comes.
Yeah, totally. And like I take that from, I always wanted to got your back, and it was, I didn't even think I was going to go to school and be CYC. I was just going to do got your back and support people experiencing homelessness, right? And then I was like, I don't even know where to start. I need some kind of background, right? So that's really, I went to college to get the language, the vocabularies, right? So I could keep up with people around the table, really, and that's what it was. I was out of school for so long, right? But no, I could appreciate that the more I'm in it, the more I'm part of, and the more I'm doing, right? That language comes.
And the more we're all in it, the more we all get it, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's part of it. Yeah. So, okay, so I want to say that, like this whole time that I've been on the board, I've been a volunteer. It's wild. Like it's
Right?
just wild. Like it's just like it's the weirdest, greatest volunteer gig I've ever had. It's so much fun. And also, I mean, we're at a place right now where we're at a place right now where we can't take in a whole slew of volunteers right now because we're up to our eyeballs in strat plan, and we just launched the store today, which we haven't even talked about, and we've got more stuff coming up this week, and we've got a whole couple of months ahead of us. But we want to generate some buzz about getting you all ready to volunteer in the fall, because come fall, we really need your assistance. And when we say we need your assistance, we're not like, come help us. It's more like, do you see yourself being able to contribute to child and youth care across the province? Is that something that interests you? Because it doesn't even have to be something you know how to do. Is it something that interests you? Is it something that you have a capacity to do, but you're actually not too sure how much time it's going to take, so you don't want to say yes right away? If that's you, then like you're our kind of person. We totally get it. We totally get it. And we want to just create opportunities and create openings for people to step in the fall. The summer's really quiet for us. We're finishing off strat plan at the end of June, and then come fall, we are going to need volunteers. We're going to need another pickup. Hey?
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally, for sure.
Yeah.
For fresh minds, fresh ideas, right? Yeah, totally. We need to build this team.
That's a really good point, because if you're the kind of person who has an idea about a project that you want to do, like a project you wanted to do in CYC, like for example, this guy who wanted to do a podcast,
right?
But if you have an idea like that and you think, I wonder if I could do that at the OACYC, you should pitch it to us, because we're interested in supporting child and youth care practitioners, right? So, volunteerism, it doesn't have to be something that costs you. It can actually be something that contributes to you. And that's the name of the game, Sean. That's the game we've been trying to play this whole time. This is supposed to contribute to you and where you're at rather than cost you. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I gain so much out of doing what I do for OACYC. It keeps me on point, keeps me a little relevant in the knowing, nice. Right? And just like building relationships with the right people, right? And I'm not to say anything or toot my own horn, but I'm kind of known a little bit. Like my name's out there.
It's supposed to happen.
I'm not lying. I have interns I'm interviewing. They're like, yeah, I know who you are from conference. I know who you are from this. I seen the podcast. Like, it's a good feeling. I'm getting out there, and you were one of those people. I still look up to you, right? But like you're one of those people too. People know who Cora is, right?
Yeah.
And right, it's a nice feeling, and we get that from being part of such an amazing team. And the volunteer aspect of it is just it's so rewarding, and like you said, it really is about something that you could get from it, right?
Yeah. Like if you think about it, it's like the whole association exists for the membership. Because without the membership, the association would cease to exist. Like, really just think about it, right? Like, if everybody just stopped purchasing memberships because we don't get funding from anywhere else, it would stop. So, and also, I think or at least for me, but I think I see it in you. The thing that we're experiencing is that we're connected to something so much larger than ourselves. It's like it's so big, it doesn't even feel possible. There's no way to feel like it's impossible because it's that much larger than ourselves. It's like we're committed to the health of the entire community.
Yes.
Right?
When you say it a lot, and I totally agree. Like, when we're having meetings, we're representing Ontario. We're talking about Ontario CYCs and supporting and the people we support in Ontario, right? Like, we're like, if you were like, we're on the top, right? And all these things are underneath us, and it's like we could help make decisions, right? People, the government is asking for us to sit in on meetings, right? Other places are asking for us for our opinions, right? And it's because they understand our value. And again, that goes right back into fighting for regulation, right? Because not everyone understands our value. A lot of people still don't know they need a CYC or what a CYC is until they need one. That's
right. Let me just offer like add and amplify what you just said. It feels like the top, but we're actually just the soil. Because we're the ones, because think about it. We are granted, our existence is granted by the membership each and every time they renew their membership. Like, think about that for a second, like, think about it for a second. It's like we are nourished. There is energy coming in to the organization, and then we are tasked with being stewards to that, trying to determine what to do with it, figuring out what language to use that will most accurately reflect what we hear coming through schools, what we hear coming through hospitals, what we hear coming through shelters, what we hear coming through new grads. Our entire existence is granted by the membership. And so that is the responsibility that makes us feel like we're at the top, or sometimes we collapse.
Right. You know what? I think it's kind of, I could go a little further with it, right? We always say that CYCs plant seeds. So we're the soil for the seeds we're the soil for the seeds that CYCs plant.
That's it. Right? We are literally it is like its own ecosystem. And the one thing that we are tasked with doing is ensuring the longevity and the advancement of the profession. That's it.
Changing the soil once in a while.
That's it.
Dipping through it a little bit, mixing it up, giving it some water, some fertilizer.
That's it. That's it. Right. That's it. So that's why we need new energy once in a while. That's why in the fall we're like, oh hey, we really need new energy. Okay, look. Something came through the chat. Bhavkar, can we give you a shout out? I don't know. Bhavkar, we're just going to give you a shout out. Hey, how you doing? Happy CYC Week 2024. That's it. Okay. I know, right?
We'll do an official shout out. I'll put it on the screen. Let's see what we can do.
When you have a sec, can you talk about the store? And then we should wrap up.
Yeah, totally. Totally. There's your shout out.
Hey, so good. Hello.
All right. Well, we have the store up and running from noon today, and like so exciting. We're blessed by the amount of people that jumped on and that want to be in our swag. That's going to be our billboards walking around, which they don't know, right? Advertising for us, right? Thank you. No royalties, right? But that's we had to slide that in there a little bit. Thank you for being our billboards. No, it's awesome clothing. I wonder if no one's got any slides yet. I'm surprised, right? But a lot of hoodies went. Hold on, let's see.
A lot of hoodies. Probably. I'm eyeing the long sleeve. I love a long sleeve t-shirt.
Right?
I love
like
who doesn't love a long sleeve
5,
t-shirt?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 orders. 11 orders since noon, and a lot of the orders are multiple items. And the champion jackets have went with our logo embroidered in English and French on the chest. A bunch of long sleeves, 2 tracksuit sets went, a bunch of hoodies, all different colors, and yeah, it's just so amazing, so blessed. Like this is amazing that people are jumping on these.
Just so everybody knows, and I think I'm correct, the podcast, StreamYard, and the store are all the brainchildren of yours truly, Sean, over there.
Thank you.
Truly and honestly. Sean is loud with these ideas. Yeah, you did.
Thank you. And I got more. I'm not done. I got more. No, but remember, the store's doing awesome, but we got our podcast tomorrow. I'm interviewing Wolfgang Vachon. Another one of my favorite.
Are you interviewing Wolfgang on Tuesday or Wednesday?
Sorry. Wednesday. Yeah. So our podcast is officially launching Wednesday. 6:45. I will start warming up, talking, and Cora will join me at that time, and we'll talk a little more about OACYC, and then Wolfgang will join us after, and we'll get into his interview. We're going to be discussing his podcast, his journey for his dissertation. He has his PhD in CYC, and I actually helped him with some a drama podcast he made, and we're going to talk about that and get into the idea of CYCs from care and what value CYCs from care bring to our field, because it's been so taboo. Some people think that people from care shouldn't be supporting other people. And I'm one that begs to differ. I think we could help in a different way. And if we all work together, we might be able to help holistically in a very good way, with different approaches. Because not everyone is cookie cutter, so CYCs shouldn't be cookie cutter either. And that's really where my idea about why we should have CYCs from care.
I mean, if you think about it, within a Canadian context, we're behind the rest of the world. Because
yes.
youth care has been happening for centuries, thousands of years. People have been taking care of other people's kids when other people couldn't do it, right?
Yes.
And those kids have been taking care of other kids, and those kids take care of other kids, and those kids take care of other kids, right? But actually, it's interesting because Kyrus actually said on that on that TV stint that Global did. And in fact, maybe we should pull up the clip sometime, but he described the child welfare system, right? It was meant to cause wellness, but it did the absolute opposite. And so we had to find a way to sort of incarcerate and separate those who were in the system from those who were working the system.
Wow.
But yeah. But we're behind, because what we do is one of the most natural things, if you think about it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Totally. It's care.
Yeah, that's it.
It's care. I always remember, and I know I'm not going to do this story right, but there is, pardon if I'm talking wrong, but there is a village in Africa where it's children of parents that had AIDS. And they care. CYCs go in and care. They live in the houses, and then as those kids grow, they become the CYCs, and the elders move out, and it's that whole cycle, right, of care. And I think it was I think there was an option at one time through Degree where Humber was offering for us to go there as a learning experience. Can't remember. But just that idea of care, and where we're taught here not to hug. We're taught not to hug the people but how am I going to tell someone I support, especially in the part of the field I'm in, I can't hug you? They're not going to understand that. They're if anything, they're going to take, someone might take it as rejection, and might not be able to articulate that to me. Right. So I got to figure out how to balance that. Like, we can't hug, but we'll hug because it's care. And if one of my members need that, right, the people I support, their caregivers know that we do this, right? There's certain people we know that we need to do a side hug. There's certain stuff like that. You got to just be mindful of your situation, but care is care. And if someone needs a hug, they need a hug.
Care is just care. It's wild. It's right? Just care. That's it. And I like, before we go, the one thing I'll say is thanks for having me on. Oh, thanks for having me. This is so good. I'll say that I think that where we're headed is, I think we're learning not only how to more authentically care as we move forward in a world that's got a lot more stuff than it did 5 years ago, but I think we're also learning to care for the people that we work with, in a way that doesn't require us to change ourselves. Right? Yes. I think that will soon be part of the work as well.
Yeah, totally. All right. I want to let everyone know that, hey, tomorrow, 7:00, we're going to have some thesis presentations. We might have some more on Thursday. I'm not sure. We might balance them out a bit, right? But I think we got 2 tomorrow at 7:00. They're going to be about 20 minutes each, right? So join us then. We're going to have a contest tomorrow during the day, but I'm not letting anyone know what that's all about until tomorrow. And so stay tuned and have an awesome evening. You can stay on. I'm going to end the stream.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.